Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. Today we have something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at some very special images and for a very special purpose. Whimsy is hosting a charity fundraiser hop-in event. You can see all the details on the screen. Feel free to pause and read them if you need a little bit more time. We give a big thanks to our Whimsy Stamps artists for providing these sweet, sweet Christmas images. And I'm going to be making something with one of them today. Here's a little longer look at the sentiments, but again, feel free to pause. Here's a closer look at the images. I've downloaded the images and printed them off on my printer, and I've been playing with the sizes, and I have a bit of an idea of where I'm going. So you notice those Santas are pretty large. I'm making a large and in charge tag. Y'all know I love making tags. That has become one of my favorite things to do. Now this guy is super big. He's like, I have him like at 5.5 inches. I thought that maybe I would make a shaped card with him. That's why I printed off two the same size, but I changed my mind. And if you're familiar with me at all, I do that a lot. If you're not familiar with me at all, I do that a lot. The paper that I print on through my printer is not incredibly heavyweight, so I have glued this down to a sheet of Nina 110 and just wanted to give it a little bit more stability. I wanted there to be a nice clean backing also, which I could have done afterwards, but I needed both layers to be cut out at the same time, and there's no dies for these. There definitely is no die for this giant size. So I just trimmed it down to a workable size. That's why I trimmed off all that excess. And now I'm just using my Olos to color. And if you have any questions about my coloring, please, please, please drop me a question or a comment downstairs in the description box, the comment section. I am not a colorist, but I do the best that I can. And today I had some struggles. So the cookies came out really easily. I decided I wanted to add some detail with just some black spots and then some white spots. And then I come in with one of the browns from the Arteza Inconic pens that you see there on the screen, and just adding some texture, right? Cookies always have texture and different colors and whatnot. So I think the cookies turned out great. When I started using the red, that's when my issues started, because we all know that red is kind of temperamental anyway. And then the cardstock that I'm using is not the best for Olo markers, nor was the ink the best for alcohol markers, and Olos are alcohol markers. To add to that, the ink started bleeding, and then I was running out of ink in several of my markers. I needed to place an order and get those filled again. And yeah, I just had lots of different issues. So if you have questions about how I resolve those, like I said, just drop me a comment downstairs and I will answer. A lot of what I do is camouflaging and masking, not the typical masking that we think of when we're stamping, but masking the fact that I had boo-boos all over the place. And if you look, you can see the ink is blending or bleeding already. Now this darkest of reds that I use there, it is one of just a select few of my Olo markers that drip. So some of them don't have enough ink, some of them have so much that it literally drips right out the tip. So this dark one does that. So that's another issue right there that I encounter. And I just do, and another one. Yeah. And I just do the typical coloring, back and forth, light to dark, dark to light, back and forth and back and forth. Lots of blending, lots of layers. And that is my strategy. Also, it's the masking and the camouflaging. So I use the grays to try to camouflage and blend out some of those bleeding spots. And then my grays are the ones that are running out of ink, as are my zero markers. So just bear with me, watch my process. Like I said, if you have questions, let me know. I think I've given you all the details that really kind of matter at this point. But yeah, here we go, music time. Here's where I come in with my white gel pen and I do some more of the masking and camouflaging, going over any of those areas that didn't blend out. And that white gel pen just helps in so many different ways. It adds the highlights, but it also covers up a bunch of those troubled areas. Now, I was not able to get them all to go away, but I think when you look at the overall picture, you don't really see the blubs unless you go looking for them. If you look for them, you're going to find them. And then I fussy cut. Now remember, this is 2 layers of cardstock. One layer is, I don't know if it's 65 or 80, and then the other is 110. So it was a lot to cut through. But these scissors from Tim Holtz and Tonic are pretty good scissors. They're the haberdashery, the small, I can't remember what size they are, maybe 6-inch. But they are workhorses. Love these scissors. And I go around the whole image. I leave just a little bit of a white border. And then I come in with my white gel pen again, and any of the ink that bled outside of the, well, it's not a stamped image, it's a printed image. I use the gel pen to, again, kind of mask that. So you can see that's exactly what I'm doing here. So where the brown bled out of the little bunny slippers, which I have to say, I adore the fact that he's wearing bunny slippers. Adore. Yeah, and here I went outside of the lines with the green on the platter. And I love the green platter. I never thought that I would love it so much. But the green bounces off his green eyes, and it's such a fun pop of color and a contrast to that red. Now, I know I got a little heavy-handed with the grays so that his white areas really look more like a gray, like maybe a heathery gray than a white. But that's what I had to do. I mean, I didn't have the ink to blend things out the way that I wanted to. But I think overall, he turns out okay. Y'all tell me what you think. Again, if you look for the blubs, you're going to see them. If you don't look, if you just look at the overall composition, you really don't. It just, yeah, it's just fun. So here I'm using my crocodile. I punch a little hole in his noggin. And then I pull out my little... Oh gosh, why does my brain not want to remember what these are called when I'm talking? I'm drawing a blank. Y'all know what they are. So I pull those out and I use my crocodile to put them in. And now you can see that little box over there on the left. I have a bunch of different charms and beads and things in there, but I also have some broken jewelry. And so I'm using some of my little jewelry pliers there to open up the jump rings and the chain. And then I use them on a bulb pin to hang my sweet, sweet snowflake charms. So I put one directly onto the bulb pin, and then I put the chain on the bulb pin as well, and I adhere one of the charms to the chain. So it's kind of a layered thing. One's a little more dangly than the other. And then you can see at the top of my Santa, through the hole that I punched, and the thing that I can never remember the name of, I have put some more green trim that I've tied around the seam binding, the black seam binding. And I went back and forth if I wanted white seam binding or red or black to pull from the Santa image, but I decided ultimately to go with black, as you can see. Now these got a little bit tangled there, but I got them all straightened out, and I think he's just adorable. I love the little danglies. I love the green twine, how it pulls from the green plate and his green eyes. It's that rule of threes, right? So sweet. Yeah, so I really have to thank our amazing Whimsy artists again for these sweet, sweet images. I encourage you guys, hop around on this hop. Go see, there's special pricing on these 4 Digis. You can make so many different things. Now again, this guy is huge, right? On the back of him, you can do to from. You can write a whole message. You can hang him off of a doorknob. You can hang him off of a package, off of a gift bag. You can hang him off a bottle of wine. You could use this in so many different ways. And I would encourage you guys, think outside the box. How do you want to use these things? Because you can manipulate them to be whatever you want them to be. Hop along, get some great inspiration, and until next time, guys, this has been Nancy, the Handy Scandy, and I'm sending all of my love, hugs, and prayers out to those who have been affected by the hurricanes, and I'm sending my love, hugs, and prayers to all of you. Mwah.